Hey viewers, welcome to another game as the Casual Pro Gamer. Welcome to game number 1 of a best of 3 between Mouz as the Protoss in the top left and SuperNova as the Terran in the bottom left. So this is the Ritmix tournament, I believe Group A, but it will be in the title, so you can read it there. Anyhow, yeah, it is a tournament match, as I said, best of 3. We are going to do all 3 of them today. In fact, I'm going to do all 3 of them in a row. And you guys will just have to wait if they're not up yet, but for most of you they will be up. Anyhow, yeah, just the standard approach, of course. We are building workers, we are building some supply depots on the one side, some pylons on the other side, and then we're going into our first production building, which will be a barracks over here and a gateway over here. So yeah, kind of the standard approach, maybe the gateway over here, I don't know, depends on whether he wants to wall in his base a little bit, make it harder to run past with that scout, but most of the time they don't really care. So no, the gateway is going to be built by this guy, so yeah. Anyhow, we are going to scout now, and since this is a 4-player map, it is going to be a little bit difficult to scout, well, not difficult, you have to be lucky to get into the right direction, because obviously there is no skill involved there. It is one of the few things that are remaining, which makes this game, well, let's say unable to be a sport. It's an e-sport, sure, but it is not a sport because in a sport you cannot have random things built into the game, and this scouting is definitely a random thing. So unless you make forced cross positions on every on every map in your tournament, yeah, it is not considered to be a sport. But anyway, enough about that. We are going to scout where the Terrans are, but the Terrans also see where the Protoss came from, so at least he should have seen that. So he should know that the Protoss is over here, which makes that the Protoss player sent out a probe, but the Terran player doesn't actually have to do that. He can wait, he knows where the Protoss player is, and he doesn't really need to scout anything else than just a position for now. So we are going to chase a little bit, and this SCV is now being pulled off the line for quite a while, which means that, well, he is going to lose some minerals as well. Even though he had a little bit of an advantage there. We do see 2 barracks coming up, by the way. No wall off here. I kind of expected the wall off to be there. Oh well. Normally we see the wall off. This time we saw an early command center. And of course a not so early nexus. But well, the nexus came up afterwards because he saw that the Terran player was actually, well, expanding already. And therefore he went for that. Otherwise he would have gone for a little bit more defensive build, because you never know what's going to happen unless you actually scout what's going to happen. And especially with a Terran player who can build his buildings just about anywhere, because they can fly back to base if, well, if he really wants to. Yeah, against the Terran you always have to watch out. So we are going to grab this watchtower now with a very low probe, 5 HP left. Of course the 20 shield that did regenerate, but it's still 5 HP left. That's 1 hit from an SCV. And well, we do have the mothership core now. Mothership core is just going to scout around a bit, probably for now. Maybe even just recharge, well, charge his energy. Not recharge, hasn't used it yet. So yeah, we are going to get the warp gates going. The gateway is just going to produce some initial units which are going to defend the base a little bit. No scouting going on for now. And we are going to see our first attack here with the Terran army. The Terran army not really that big, and the Terran did not pay attention to, I only just noticed that, that's very late, but he didn't notice where that probe was coming from, so he actually scouted the wrong way. He could have seen that easily, because obviously if the probe comes from here or it comes from here, it attacks your command center at a different angle. So once it can come in over here, it can also come in over here, and that is a different approach path. So yeah, definitely should have seen that coming. But anyhow, we are going to get a little bit of an attack off with these marines. One of them already died, a second one, third one, And we are going to be safe with this Stalker. The Stalker is just going to run out, recharge some shields, and then go back in probably. Yeah, it did. Well, it did go back in because there was really no way he was going to lose that. And that few extra HP loss is not a big deal. It is really, really not a big deal. Because he gets 80 shields back. So whether you have 85 or 80 extra hit points afterwards, it doesn't really matter. He is going to be aggressive now with only 2 Stalkers. And this is what most of the new players forget to do. You can be aggressive with 2 Stalkers because 2 Stalkers can actually pick off a lot of units in the Terran arsenal, and well, the Terran of course knows that, but 2 Stalkers can pick off 4 Marines or so. So yeah, he went aggressive with 5 Marines and they got picked off one by one by those Stalkers. And yeah, units lost. We'll show you that only 1 unit was lost, and that was the probe in the mid. So yeah, there's that. At least I'm assuming. Yeah, that was not true. One of the Stalkers apparently got killed. So 3 Stalkers versus 5 Marines it was then. And the Stalkers came out ahead brilliantly. Yeah, we are going to get a little bit of an attack going, but we do have blink Stalkers, so we can actually blink out, no problem. It's 2 very low Stalkers. Well, it's about 30 HP. So it's a good deal. And wow, picking off one of the bunkers here. He's really going aggressive with his early Stalker army, and he might actually decide to game right here. Even though there are plenty of Marines available, I don't think they can actually hold this, because Stalkers, especially blink Stalkers, are so hard to kill for Marines. And yeah, the bunker gets surrounded, but he's just going to ignore the bunker. He's just going to go for the production buildings, picking off the reactor. And if the reactor goes down, then there are no more Marines coming out, or at least only half the Marines are coming out of that barracks. And yeah, this might actually just finish now, because obviously these SCVs are no match for blink Stalkers. And if he has the, he does have the micro necessary to blink out those low health Stalkers. And even though they may not all stay alive, it is going to be good enough, because obviously, 38 workers killed now. There is a drop over here, by the way, but it was not nearly as important as the, well, what's happening here. The GG comes out from our Terran player, and even though he got some damage done here, it is not nearly good enough. With those 3 Stalkers warping in, he actually got to kill everything, and it is 43 workers killed versus 21. So yeah, there's that. So all in all, pretty easy match here for the Protoss player. Hopefully that will not be the case in game 2. But I hope to see you next time. GG.